And as I think about it, the IndyCar community is so much more than a community. We're a family. Each one of us is a family, and it's a day like today when we come together, not as competitors, but as the IndyCar community family. As I think about that, our family extends beyond each of you in this room. In fact, it extends to thousands of people, many of whom are watching us live right now on the internet. Our fans. We wouldn't be able to do what we do every weekend without those fans. The fans that follow the IndyCar season all year long. They wear our colors, they tweet at us, they tell us when we do things wrong, and they celebrate when we do things right. And they're also the first to come to Gate 1 and celebrate a life like Justin Wilson's. We didn't ask them to do that. They did it. They left their works, they came in the middle of the night, and they celebrated a life and left pictures, left stories, things that Justin Wilson did, how he touched their lives, not just what he did on the racetrack, but what he did in those small moments of interaction when he got to shake a hand, sign an autograph, or put his arm around a little child and have a photo taken. But Justin Wilson was much more than an elite athlete. And that's why we're here today, to celebrate the person, not the driver. Justin's going to be remembered for a lot of things. His competitive spirit, his passion, the friendships many of you had with him, his humility, his demeanor, and his attitude and his genuine caring for others that he held so dear. The stories and comments that you're going to hear this afternoon from people who knew Justin Wilson, not just the race car driver, but Justin Wilson, the person, will touch each one of those qualities that were who Justin Wilson is. Yes, we are here today to remember much more than the race car driver. We're here to celebrate a husband, a father, a friend, a role model. We're here to celebrate a man who left this community, this family, much better than it was when he first got here.
Julia's here, and she's asked me to read a letter that she's written, some of it just covers some of the loss that she feels, and also covers the story of when they first met, which maybe will hopefully lift the spirit a little bit and make a few people laugh today. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the whole of the racing community. It feels like the whole world is hurting from Justin's death and not just me. The IndyCar family, Honda, Andretti, and a whole bunch of you ladies and gents out there have been my backbone the past few weeks, from when it first happened until these moments now. Justin will be pleased knowing that I am getting the help left, right, and center that I need. Not even I realize how big his heart was. By the way that it is continuing to beat today, it makes me smile each time I think of him out there somewhere helping someone else, and knowing that he lives on in others is a comfort. At bedtime, he used to read to the girls. I love watching him from the side, trying his best to read, all well knowing that he was struggling with his dyslexia. Jane and Jess are missing their best friend, their climbing frame, the person that made them laugh when Mummy was being pretty grumpy. I don't want people to be sad, but to be proud and happy to know him. Justin was definitely my one in a million. I am grateful of the time I had with Justin and will cherish every moment.
Turns out everyone in this room and watching online, we were the lucky ones. Justin taught us to be better, more humble people. Justin showed us how patience and humility are supposed to look like. Justin's favorite thing to tell me, I don't know why, it's always, and I can't do the accent very well, it was no problem, no problem. Everything was no problem. Maybe some of you have heard him say this. The year we won the Rolex 24, right towards the end, we could see that we're going to win this race. And I went to Justin, I said, Justin, I need you to do a triple at the end of this thing. Are you going to be able to do it? No problem. During the triple, during it now, this is me on the radio, I said to Justin, I need you to gap P2 at least 35 seconds during this run so we can do a green flag brake pad change, which is a no-no in our sport. No problem. When he pitted for the last stop, when we put brake pads on it. He had a 37-second gap to P2. He set the fastest lap of the race in the whole race, 750 laps, and led 73 laps. Never let me down, ever.
And when we got to the last house, we probably should have explained this a bit better before we started. The last hedge dropped down an embankment to the railway line. And the rest of us had all planned, I assumed, to, when we got to the last house, to jump back over into the street and carry on. As we're going down the road, all the lights are coming on of the houses as they can hear all the ruckus. And Justin finally gets to the last hedge, which is probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 feet tall. He manages to get over, but of course on the other side is the embankment. So he hits the ground, and we're just able to get to the point where we can see him as he's rolling down this hill. But what came next was completely unexpected. As he's rolling down, all of a sudden we heard some shouting in German and some screaming, and we're all at the railway by now, and we see him sprinting up the railway, and he doesn't even stop. He turns right and heads straight back down to the hotel. So of course we'll follow as quickly as we can. And by the time we get to the hotel, we ask him what's going on. And we could see that he's starting to, well, he was very red, and he's starting to blemish and come up in like hives. And it turns out he rolled through some stinging nettles, or poison ivy, I guess you call it here. But then on top of that, there was a young German couple that were laying on the embankment. I'm sure you can make out what they were doing, and apparently he rolled right over the top of them as well.
I mean, he was a leader. He was the man. He was a never me guy. You know, it was never about him. He was a we guy. He was one of us. Just enough can't be said for his love and his concern for the future of this sport. He was an adamant supporter of open wheel racing, an adamant supporter of oval racing. He loved oval racing. And when we won in Texas, that's the proudest I've ever seen the guy, where he was just in tears. He was so proud of it. He loved oval racing. He was a professional. He always tried to make his point without being antagonistic. He could be tough. He could be sarcastic. But he always wanted to be part of the solution and not the problem.
I'm the guy known for being able to talk about race cars, but not matters of the heart, especially about another good friend that had been so tragically taken from our sport. But of course, how could I say no? Justin wouldn't have said no. He would have stood up here 6'4" and done me proud. So here we are. We can't know why some things happen, but we can know that love and beautiful memories outlast the pain of grief. We don't know why Justin was taken, but we do know that there's a place inside the heart where love lives always, and where nothing or no one as special as Justin can ever be forgotten. To Justin's beautiful girls, Jules, Jess, and Jane, and his best man, brother Stefan, Keith, and Lynn, you will be forever in our hearts along with Justin. Please join me in raising your glass to our good friend Justin. To Justin.
Community family. As I think about that, our family extends beyond each of you in this room. In fact, it extends to thousands of people, many of whom are watching us live right now on the internet. Our fans, they won and celebrate a life like Justin Wilson's. We didn't ask them to do that. They did it. They left their works, they came in the middle of the night, and they celebrated a life and left pictures. We're here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway celebrating Justin Wilson because Justin Wilson loved the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Not unlike many of us, our first experiences in racing here. The stories and comments that you're going to hear this afternoon from people who knew Justin Wilson, not just the race car driver, but Justin Wilson, the person, will touch you.
I feel like it would be repeating a lot of what was already mentioned already, but Julia's here and she's asked me a letter that she's written, some of its generosity is overwhelming. Some days I don't feel we are deserving of such love. Good people die every day. Justin was a good man, father, husband. Jamie and Jess are missing their best friend, their climbing frame, the person that made them laugh when Mommy was being pretty grumpy. I met just this 6'4" man walk through the door, grinning, and made a beeline for the Jello shots. Down to here, and it was downhill from there.
I'm so incredibly proud to be here, and I thank you to honor Justin and his family to this year, as late as Sebring of this year. It was my privilege for him to be in my life. It was my privilege. Their contribution was needed, appreciated, and valued. I'm mad. For some reason, a guy like Justin is ripped from all of us for no explainable reason.
Privilege of knowing Justin for some 16 years now, and Julia even longer. And so I'm going to share with you a story. There was actually 3 to choose from, all of which were just we're walking up. We finally stop at the pub. We have our meal. We have one too many drinks, as you know.